Okay, now please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, Amy Hall. Amy works at Paycor, Inc. as its first head of diversity, equity, and inclusion. She was awarded the North American HR Excellence Provider Award for her work in DEI at Paycor. Amy brings authenticity to the forefront of leadership, action, and learning in the field of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Amy founded and owns the Equity LDI. She was featured on the cover of the July 2022 issue of HR Future magazine. There, it highlighted how she helped people learn how to internalize DEI work to achieve systemic change for sustainable inclusion and a sense of belonging for all employees. Amy is currently working on her first book called Undo: What to Stop Doing to Be a Superb Inclusive Leader. And it's tentatively scheduled for release this fall. How exciting. So with that, please join me in welcoming Amy Hall. Take it away, Amy.
Thank you so much, Rob. So great to be here with all of you today. Awesome to hear your words. As you were talking, I was thinking to myself, I'm so glad you're saying what you're saying because it's so in line with what we're going to talk about today. So thank you so much. Again, a pleasure to be here with all of you. I am not near the metro area. I'm actually located in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I know Angela was saying, go Washington. I'm all about the Bengals over here. So it's a Who Dey Nation on this side of the camera. Feel free, by the way, I want this to be engaging for all of you. So I'm probably going to ask you questions and you can throw things in the chat. Please feel free to engage at that time. We will save questions as is indicated for the end so we can make sure we get all of the information there. What an amazing thing for you all to have such a welcoming and inclusive leader for your organization. That's absolutely fabulous and sometimes hard to come by. So thank you for all of the work that you're doing, Director Santos. I am going to do the share screen moment. So once I get this up, if anyone wants to throw in the chat that they can see and view everything the right way, that would be awesome. And of course, now that I'm in present mode, I can't see the chat. So we're going to do the best we can here as I'm going through it. All right. I'm going to talk to everybody today about how to dream in DE&I, the heart work for the hard work. As Director Santos stated, I am currently the head of diversity, equity, inclusion for Paycor. For those of you that aren't aware of what Paycor is, it's traditionally a Paycor company, but we actually function in software services for all of human capital management. So we're working hard. We got our name on the football stadium, so we're trying to make it all work. I also own Equity LDI, which is a consulting firm that I started back in 2019. I won't give away who I am because that's the next slide. So who is this woman, right? I'm sure all of you are like, who is this lady, Amy Hall? I've never heard this name. I don't know who she is. So whenever anyone asks me who I am, I learned a lesson a long time ago. There's a difference between who you are and what you do. And so often, people say, hey, tell me about yourself. And we start with, oh, well, I work for, and I do blank. And we have to remember that's a tiny piece of who we are as we think about what diversity is. So I wanted to share this little collage of pictures with all of you to kind of summarize who I am, starting from all of the humble beginnings of SpaghettiOs all the way on the far left. I was addicted to SpaghettiOs. And the parents on the left, that's actually me getting ready to be delivered in the hospital, my two parents over there on the left. And then moving forward in my life, at the center of everything, and Rob was talking about his career as a photographer. I actually minored in music and vocal performance. So music is always at the center of pretty much everything I do. as well as my kids. So I have two boys that are almost 16, and actually today is my son's 12-year-old birthday, so 7th grade and 10th grade. I love to travel. Down below is Punta Cana. To the right is Palm Springs, Desert Springs, which is phenomenal. I highly recommend for that. New Orleans with the beignets. I love sports, so I'm a boy mom. The little girl up at the top is my niece, and she's a dancer, as can be seen there. And I love sports, as you can see, Bengals all day. And both of my boys play football and baseball. So really, I'm pretty much on a baseball or a football field most of the year. And then I also have a puppy. She's 7 months old. That's an older puppy, 7 months old now, and was heard barking before we started today. So glad that she settled down. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'm very proud of that. I'm a former collegiate chapter president and a member of our local alumni chapter. So that's like a tiny slice of me. Oh, I meant tennis. That is Serena Williams in her last debut here in the Cincinnati Masters tournament. We've been going to that tournament and been fans of tennis since before I was born, actually. My very first experience was with seeing Andre Agassi. It was probably 1986-ish. And I'm pretty sure everything I had on was fluorescent. I think it was Umbros. So love tennis. Where it's happening now this week. I was just there yesterday. So it's awesome to share a little bit of who I am with you. And just as you're thinking through the talk today, in addition to thinking about how you might use any of these things for yourself, also think about who is the U.S. Census. If you had to create a collage of who you work for, or what words and images you would use to describe yourself, or even describe the business and work that you do, what would that look like? All right, so moving on, I always preface any conversation with just reframing everyone around what diversity is. So often when we talk about diversity, we're only looking at the tip of the iceberg, which many of you in the demographic and statistician fields and all of the above will understand. You know, I call this honestly the top 3 or 4, which is race and ethnicity, gender, age, and sexual orientation comes up quite a bit as well. But that's the tip. And we know icebergs, we've learned lessons about icebergs, that the majority of it is under the surface. And so just remembering that everything you see on this screen is a part of what diversity is. It's more of a mosaic or a continuum of a multitude of things than it is just those 3 things or 4 things that we might see or observe. There's quite a bit that's very important underneath the surface. For example, being a parent. When you meet someone you don't know, you have to ask. So those things are very much just as important and critical as we think about who we are and how we operate in the world. All right, so the meat of our talk today is going to center around this word, is dream. Now, it's on the left, I was going to share, my dream is to live as close to the water as possible as soon as my kids are raised and doing what they want to do. And that image right there to me is definitely a dream. However, the word dream today is going to stand for something different, and this will all make sense very soon. So, the first word's probably going to throw everyone off. The D stands for delicious trash. I will explain what that means. These are all ways that you're able to create a harmonious, inclusive environment in diversity, equity, inclusion. Relationships, empathy, accepting change, which I bet everybody thought it was going to be accessibility, and modeling. So we're going to talk about all 5 of these things throughout the course of the talk today. And again, I apologize, when I go into presentation mode, I'm unable to see the chat, but I am going to throw some questions in there, and hopefully when I watch the recording, I can get some feedback. All right, so everyone has a favorite dessert. Everyone has a favorite dessert. That looks delicious. My favorite happens to be cheesecake. So this looks like a layered chocolate mousse. We've got, some people out there might be ice cream people or milkshakes or cookies. I am a cheesecake fan. I love cheesecake. And that looks absolutely, I think that looks like probably like a turtle caramel cheesecake, which sounds amazing to me right now. Not helpful on my weight loss journey, but I was going to ask everyone in the chat, should I be able to see it? I'm going to see if I can minimize this window and get to the chat, which I cannot. So we're going to stick with what we got here. So throw your favorite chat in the dessert and talk with each other and share with one another. While you're doing that, or even after, I would encourage all of you to close your eyes just for a second. Just for a second. We're all tapping in, I know. Just for 5 seconds, 1 second. Close your eyes. Think about that amazing, delicious dessert. Oh, I'm getting some pop-ups over here on the right. I saw strawberry shortcake, Boston cream pie. Yeah, I'm able to see them. Awesome. Okay, so when you think about that delicious dessert, now I want you to think about someone shoving it in your face and down your throat. Like